Hey, what is happening? Guess who? Guess who?
Guess who?
Yeah, there we go. Who was here on time was my. I'll show you. This whole thing popped out.
Oh, I do think it's funny just watching the intro to the live chat, like because I had to change the intro so many times just to get YouTube to not freak out about Joe shooting a gun at the beginning. That in the live chat, it's the pure one because the one with the donkey sounds like every time. Like I'll be reviewing it, I'll hear the donkeys. I'm like, what the hell? Like, oh, that's right. I put those donkey sounds. Like that's hilarious.
Croak says,
I need to find a non-scary gun.
Noisy armchair.
Oh, you remember that?
Right.
1911 Drew. Wow, holy crap! Walsh is here.
Right.
Even
we were just as surprised.
Yeah, Joe was like, "Oh my god, like your attendance is pretty horrible." I do still have a cold today, so don't be too mad at me. I sound horrible.
Josh Usha, special guest Walsh. We are going to have a special guest next week.
Next week, yeah. You gonna share it?
I didn't say. Yeah, I didn't. I don't care. It's your guest to share.
Yeah. So we're gonna have Dan Pod on from Dynamic Principles. He's gonna come in and talk to us about the DPC cantable mag pouches, and we're just gonna talk gear and carriers and all that stuff. I know Jason had some questions for me when he was kind of asking about the cantable mag pouches earlier today, kind of off screen. And I was like, dude, these are fantastic questions to just bring up during the live chat with Dan here, because he'll be able to answer all those. And I'm sure a bunch of other viewers are also going to want to know more about how to attach pouches, what they can work on, what they can't, and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So welcome to the live. Cody's not here. He's got some like Christmas recital with his family or something that he's doing.
Yeah, his kiddos are in a recital.
Did you see that Josh comment? I think he's asking Dan Pod, does he have a deck? Can he bring pictures? Hey, bring you want pictures of my family? Like, no. Pictures of your deck.
But if you got a deck, we'll take those.
Angry Sarge in the house. I need to mount mine to my duty belt. The Dynamic Principle ones.
Yeah, the cantable ones.
R.I.P. Cody.
He's gone. He gone.
Yeah, he's out in the desert again.
Hey, I do want to give a shout out to something that made me super proud. I don't know, Jason.
Who are we shouting out to?
It's a big shout out to all those guys who went ahead and did their VA claims. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to you guys.
Yeah.
Woo.
Because
we've been talking about it in the Discord.
Yeah, we're talking about in Discord a whole bunch, and it pretty much it seems like it made. I was talking to the wife about this. There's kind of been this snowball effect of people who are starting to really, get their claims and be like, well, should I bother? Like, yeah, man, you should.
Yes.
You did the time, you did this, and Croak was chiming in, Jamer was chiming in, talking to some different people in the Discord of like, yeah, do this. The longer you wait, that's the harder it gets. The longer you wait. So go ahead now and Croak, big shout out to him. Excellent results. I nagged him for hours on the way to GunCon there and back about doing his VA stuff, and he did it. And he's getting the help he needs and all the stuff he needs and all the back end stuff that's going to help him out forever. So that's just fantastic to see. And if every single time that's awesome. So Crook said, I got 2 coworkers to file as well. Both look like they're going to get something. So exactly. So please be the motivator to somebody else who served and helping them do the VA claim. If you don't know how to do it, we'll help you. Like we'll help you through the process. We'll help you think through stuff. Because when you start to think of it in like, hey, what is your skeletal system? What is your muscular system? What about your immune system? Like you start to go through it all. You're like, oh, I do have a bunch of stuff going on. Like, yeah, I just want you to think through all those different things, wearing boots all day, throwing rocks and stupid stuff that we do all the time. So big shout out to all those people who did their VA claims. And if you need help doing your claim, we will help you.
Your favorite libertarian said, hey, I have strep throat. Walsh, #team sick. Get better, buddy.
You need to stop talking.
Yeah, you should. Angry Sarge, I do. I've been absent in the chat because of work, but I listen. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Maurice Barlow with Joe, you rock, sir.
Thanks, Maurice. You rock.
Croak says, I basically get a free Prodigy every month now if nothing increases.
Yeah.
See?
Yep. And honestly, if nothing increases, you should take that money and set it aside for like 3 months and then give it to a lawyer and see if he can get it to increase. Like, honest to God, it's probably the best investment you'll ever make.
That's what he's talked some in the Discord. It's some of what he's working on, but it's one of those. He's just being honest about it too, of saying like, "Hey, it's amazing. I got this, and I'm gonna, apply for more." But even just getting this is so amazing, just to have that safety net forever. That just that little bit is still amazing. So that's kind of what we're sharing to everybody else. Like, these things did affect you. And we had to deal with all kinds of different things mentally and physically that a lot of civilians don't, and those systems are in place to help offset those damages you got to your body. That's just what it is.
So that comment reminded me, though, I have a question for Joe, because Croak brought up the Prodigy. What do you think of that compact echelon?
Dude, I want one, but
where's the other one?
I have enough.
Can't believe Joe said that. Okay, we got it recorded.
I'm
folks.
turning into Cody, bro. I haven't even shot. I own one now. I own an echelon. I've owned it for like 2 months.
Haven't shot
and
it.
I haven't shot it. No.
Wow.
Honestly, okay, here's my honest review of that, because I've held it, right? I hate that they slimmed up both sides. So they cut the barrel back just a little bit, if not even an inch, right? It's like maybe half an inch at best. But then they shortened the magwell. I wish they would have went like Mod 2, where they did like a 3-inch barrel, but left the magwell the same size, the same length. But I understand why they're doing it. It's a good in-between. If I was still active duty or still a badge carrier, and I'm going to use that for my duty gun and my off-duty carry, then yes, I completely understand it and get it. I would have bought that instead of the Mod 2 if I was still a badge carrier.
Yeah.
But I'm not, so a lot of rounds in concealing. That's what I focus on.
Okay. Croak says, I'm with you there, Joe. I decided to pass on the Bull Ultralight for now.
Yeah. I want that one only because I've always wanted a short 1911. I don't have one, and then why not make it a short 2011 because it's even better. So I'm just going to wait until I visit Walsh one of these days, and I'm going to steal it.
That's one way to do it. I'll be honest, I even told Ben over at Bull, like, I wasn't super excited about the ultralight. Like, hey, it's going to be another snappy pistol, another shorty gun that's just gonna be a pain to control. And I don't want to ruin anything for the future, but that's a breakout favorite. Like, that's a total wild card I wasn't expecting to like as much as I did at all. Like,
this is Garen Wilson said, found a USP 45, going to handle it Friday. Dude, you're gonna have to sell your firstborn.
How much is that?
It's like $1,200 for that pistol. It's probably more. I'm probably low on my guesstimate. Derek Murphy's in the house. What's up, boys?
What up?
Dude, one thing that I wasn't planning on talking about, but just dawned on me, like, are you guys planning on, well, first of all, did you get any cool tactical stuff from Cyber Week, Black Friday, Cyber Monday?
Maybe I'm like a turd. I don't really play along in a lot of that because it's just not worth the drama of like, am I going to go, goodness, am I going to go fight for a sale somewhere? Maybe, but more than likely not. There were some good ones though.
The one that I
anymore they're playing. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Joe.
Anymore, they're all playing too many stupid games. I don't know who I'm being honest anymore, and it irks me. So I just don't. If you're not going to play fair, I'm not going to sit here with a rule book and try to catch you in every time that you're lying or pulling the wool over my eyes. Like, where it'll be. We'll just say that this widget at $500 normally, and 2 months before Black Friday, they put it at $700 just so they could put it at $500 on Black Friday, so everybody thinks that they're getting a deal. Like, if I have to sit here and do that, I'm just not going to play the game.
Did you
and
see
then
that?
On top of that, like, everybody got into it. Dude, like, Disney Plus had a Black Friday deal.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody got it. I was joking, but I'm talking to family member and stuff, and I'm like, dude, what's next? Like, Safeway ain't gonna be like, oh, $1.99 gallon of milk for Black Friday. Come and get your milk. Like it's so blown up that everything Black Friday, and then you don't know if Black Friday ain't gonna be a better sale than Cyber Monday, and
or a week from now. And I don't know if did you see the headset video, Joe, where I had to buy a bunch of headsets?
No.
Well, so in that video, there's the Axel headset, which I had looked up weeks ago, and I kind of was like budgeting out like how many headsets can I get, and I complained about this in the video where I look it up and it's like $50. So I'm like, okay, it's $50 for the Axel headset. It's $45 for this one, $35 for this one. Okay, cool. I'll be able to grab all these, no problem. So I go to buy the Axel, and they're like, hey, it's a buy one, get one free special. I'm like, oh, that's annoying because I don't want two of them, right? I don't want two.
Mm-hmm.
Guess how much this fool costs now?
$120.
It costs $100.
Yeah.
So
so you can get that. So you can get the free one, bro.
Yes, you can get the free one. So they're just offloading two, but you buy it from any of their partner sites, and it's still only $50. So it's like, what a bunch of junk. Like
that's what I mean.
Like,
dude, Croak says, dude, we had a Black Friday oil change special at the dealership.
Told you, dude. Like I was so annoyed. I was so annoyed.
This got me. He said, I woke up Friday morning to 256 new emails. I was not pleased. Yeah, like folks that I forgot I signed up for emails. I'm like, oh, now they're sending me because they're having a Black Friday sale.
You know what Black Friday is for me? That's my unsubscribe day.
Yeah,
those are the people that I forgot to unsubscribe from, because I was with you. I had so many Black Friday emails. I read not one of them. And because we have so many businesses we're connected into and people we work with, I just deleted them all.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not going to read all those. That's crazy.
Israel Ramirez.
And dude, everybody, like, I'm sorry, but you should do the same sale, right? Just on your own, and just make up a funny, whatever. A funny reason, call it something else, and do it sometime other than Black Friday. Because Black Friday, honestly, around that time, I'm not buying anything for me, man. I'm focusing on my family, right?
Welcome to Cerulean Thursday.
All my family gifts, like all the Christmas present. I have an anniversary that right after Christmas, their birthday right after that. Like, I'm getting all that stuff figured out, right? So that's number one. And number two, with all these sales, you only have enough money for X, right? Whatever that is. Like, I can't partake in all these sales. That's great, but hit me up on April when I have a little bit of money back.
Mm-hmm.
This is Croak says, my worst is the damn near weekly Oakley SI last chance for 70% off spam. And they're not unsubbing me, so now I have a filter.
Dude, that was I had to get rid of that website.
Israel says, bless you, Walsh.
I'm not sneezing. I'm coughing. I have some horrible death cold that my kids gave me. It's fantastic.
No, he really thought that you were possessed. So we're just saying that we wish you the best.
Garen says, I was hoping for Black Friday's Hooters would be half off. I was wrong, and their food still sucks.
Dude, I had one of the worst meal of my life on Thanksgiving. We tried to go out.
Oh.
Don't do that, dude.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So nothing open, and what was open was, dude, I will.
Like McDonald's or Burger King?
No, dude, it was a sit-down restaurant, but no.
Well, I'll tell you what I do recommend. Hibachi on the day before Thanksgiving. That was genius.
Was it?
Yeah, I took my brother out. I think I mentioned that to you a couple weeks ago that I was going to take him out.
Yeah.
But you're saying it as if it's sarcastic.
No. I think so. My kids told me that's they go like everyone in our family has a superpower, and my kids are like, Dad's superpower is being sarcastic, but nobody knows if he's being sarcastic or not. So no, it really was fun. Their kids were super afraid of the fire though, but then like the next they're very, very afraid of it, and then like the next families came. But after you've seen the fire, you act like you're the cool kid, and like, oh, look at those other kids freaking out. Like,
the fire last time was way bigger.
Yeah. Super scary, isn't it, guys? We weren't that scared when we were.
Yeah. No, I mean, it startled me, but you get used to it. Don't worry, you get used to it.
You know, it's always like, I've been to hibachi before. Like, oh, you just got here. Like, so it was.
Is this your first time? Yeah. I remember my first time. Like, bro, your first time was 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, he still hasn't left yet. He's still cooking. So Hibachi was smart though, because then you had food to chew, like eat on all day when you're cooking for Thanksgiving too. So I was like, man, this is pretty smart. So I don't know. Maybe that's
we do. So a pre-Christmas tradition we do is we make tamales every year, and there's so many people that are interested in. I don't sell tamales. So I have a rule that if you come to my house and you help make tamales, then you get to eat them and you get to go home with some. And there's so many people that are interested. We have like two time slots. So we have a family coming over at 9:30 who's going to help us make tamales in the morning, and then we can cook them and have them for lunch.
By appointment only.
Yeah. And then there's a family coming over in the afternoon. We'll cook them and have those tamales for dinner.
That's pretty awesome.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I bought tamales.
Man, Crook says tamale time. Hey,
I paid for tamale. A coworker is his wife. They're young. They're in their young 20s, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And his wife's gonna make them over the weekend. So, me and my two girls, we all ordered some, and then I took them money. I'm like, dude, you need the money beforehand. Ingredients are expensive here.
Dude, so. Christopher Robin, I don't know, Christopher Robin, if you're in here, he just posted in Discord his like medical kit, and I'm wondering what he uses like a backer to tie all of his med stuff to. It's pretty cool. It's got a little fanny pack.
Hey, I do want to comment on something you and I have been talking about a bunch, even in our TLD chat. Well, that too, but no, we're talking. Someone had brought up a while ago in Discord about doing a TLD meetup.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of sharing where our heads are at. So I kind of want to throw this out to viewers, but share you guys what we're thinking. What we want to do is find one of the gun shows that we go to regularly, or add one that we go to, but then tack a day onto it that we would hang out with the viewers, like maybe do dinner that evening and then leave maybe a day late. So just to give you guys a heads up, we're thinking about doing that with GunCon because it's kind of near all of it. I think Jason was going to come out to GunCon anyway. I'm sure we could weasel Joe out there. He's not that far, but that's kind of where our heads are at. Nothing's concrete yet, so don't like lock anything in. But we're thinking coming to GunCon and then hang out with us that afternoon, that evening, and do kind of a TLD meetup if you guys want to do that. I don't know if we can do a range day because that's just such a big thing to organize, and it becomes more legally a pain in the rear. But at least we could do a meet and greet hangout time. So that's what I'm.
I think if we found like a public range, we could probably do it like, hey, we're going to be at this range, but we can't like schedule the range.
I'm just saying that didn't work out for one of the greatest SEAL snipers in the world. So just saying.
That's true.
There's like a bunch of people. There's like a bunch of people like, where's Walsh's gun day? We want to say hello to him. Like, oh boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Walsh,
are you from Spittin' Raisins?
Walsh, they did not look excited to see you. Like, oh, did you send them over? Like, oh yeah, they're on their way. They look pissed. They look super pissed. They were smacking their hands together, and then they're like bringing their guns. And I told them he's over there.
Yeah.
Croak says
somebody was in a hoodie with a makeshift silencer.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I saw them in a recent video.
They're glued on.
Croak says, I think it's been since I was in California since I had a tamale, to be honest, nearly 20 years. I don't know if you heard, Northern California got hit by a tsunami today. You hear about that? There was an earthquake off the coast of California, and the town my grandfather lived in, it's called Crescent City. It's Northern California on the coast. Got hit by a tsunami. I mean, not 40 foot. I don't know how big the waves were, but yeah, so they had a tsunami warning like from Santa Cruz, which is Central California, all the way up into Oregon.
Dang, dude. Normally I make jokes about California. I'm not going to make jokes about that one. That crap's scary. I wish them the best of luck.
Dude, did you see you got to get the Croak and the Josh comment about our range day.
Let's see here. Croak says, hey, GBRS just RSVP'd range day.
Hey,
Josh, will there be ladders and sandwiches at this range day?
I think it has to be.
If there's no ladder, I'm not going.
It has to be both those things. Okay, so there was a comment about the insurance, and I had mentioned prior to this that I wanted to talk about it.
You're going to talk about insurance?
Not
What?
the insurance. The CEO guy that got
United Healthcare.
Yeah, unalived. I don't like saying that, but I don't want YouTube to get.
Are we doing this?
Yeah,
we're doing this now.
I'm just very interested. And I say that because
I don't think we'll have enough time if we wait till Second Amendment news.
Yeah,
hey, I don't care.
Not nearly enough time. I said it in our TLD chat. I find it so interesting because so many things in the world are polarizing, right? Of like, oh, I don't like that, or this group doesn't like that. This group doesn't like that. That person does like that, right? So that it's very divisive. Like most things have a stance that kind of points to where you're at, and it's very divisive on everything. This instance is very interesting. Oh, yeah, out of network shot. So this is a perfect example. This is very non-polarizing, right? This is a very unifying action because a lot of people aren't in disagreement. I mean, it's more
okay.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because Joe's going to get into it.
Man,
is it morally good? No.
That was a lot of talk just to quote Marvel, dude. Like
Marvel?
Yeah. Remember when they're like, hey, let's go back in time and get baby Hitler and just be like,
okay.
I don't remember that.
I think Deadpool said that.
Oh.
I think. So, yeah. Is that right? Killing a baby? No. But it's Hitler. And you know what he ends up doing.
Yeah. And it's just, it's a moral conundrum. Like, is it good? No. Is it wrong? No. Right? Is it right? No. So it's just very interesting because even a bunch of the comments, like I think like one of the main news corporations was like, "Hey, here's so and so and so and so. There's a nationwide manhunt," and they were like, the first comment like had like thousands of upvotes. It said like, "If you know where this guy is, no, you don't." You know what I mean? Like everybody's unifying in like, nah, man, like we're good. Like you're the one leading everyone's grandma passing away because she can't afford her medication anymore. Everyone's sick kid, losing out on the medication they need and they pass away thanks to this guy. So there's like no there's no one being like, well, hold on.
What about this? Is probably a good thing. And this is a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I am that guy. I'll be honest with you. I am that guy. Like I don't believe what that person did, male or female. I don't know. Kind of looks like a female from the picture, like the kind of facial profile that they sent out. But that's taking it into your own hands, and we should change the laws and not assassinate people. Like
totally,
that's not the answer.
Totally, and
assassinating people isn't the answer.
And we talked about this, and kind of I had this conversation with my kids too, right? And my youngest were like, how CEOs and these big corporations kind of look for how far can you push people till they break, right?
Yes.
How much can you squeeze them for? How much?
It's not even that. What can they get away with legally? And because they have so much money, they pad people's pockets and
everything.
Legal becomes so great.
Well,
right. But and I say that, but then I'm like, man, would somebody please snipe the ruler of North Korea? You know what I mean? So I am a hypocrite on it.
Grok says, pretty sure it was a 3D printed can with no booster, so super duper extra illegal in New York. Derek Murphy, my coworker told me about the United Healthcare thing last night when I got to work. I told him, too bad we just switched to Cigna for next year's, being all that money is free now and premiums may go down. So the one thing that comes to mind about health insurance, there's a Joe Rogan podcast. This pharmacist talks about this, where he says a lady might come in with blood pressure. I think it was blood pressure medication, and it's going to cost her. He's like, his cost as a pharmacist is $2, right? And so some old lady, he's going to charge her $4. Like he makes $2 profit. She only pays $4. Seems like a win-win. The moment she says she has insurance, he has a gag order. She has to pay a $10 copay.
Yep.
The pharmacist only gets $3, so he makes $1 less. She pays more than double what she did, and the insurance company gets $7 out of it.
Yep.
For just random.
Yeah. So like I switched to a high deductible healthcare plan. So most of what I do, I pay out of pocket. And then only like huge problems do I pay towards my deductible. So my premiums are lower. The coverage is, I don't know, it's pretty good. I don't really have any major issues with it. And I have United Healthcare. So maybe my premiums are going to go down.
Maybe. I don't know if I should this, but my parents for the longest time didn't have health insurance. They found it was cheaper to just pay cash.
Yeah.
Because like, hey, we're paying, $3,000 per month, and then when we have something happen, we have to pay a $3,000 copay.
Yep.
And now I paid $6,000 for a $4,000 operation. Like, this doesn't make any sense.
So to give you an idea, for me, roughly speaking, when I had Blue Cross Blue Shield, I was paying something like $700 a month in premiums, and my agency was paying like $1,200 a month, like their portion. So $2,000 a month was going to Blue Cross Blue Shield, and my deductible was still $4,000. So when I switched to a high deductible plan, my deductible went from $4,000 to $6,000, but my premium went from $700 to $150.
Ooh.
So my monthly premium just totally, and it balances out in the long run. And trying to bring it back on to what Joe said too. And we were kind of talking about this a little bit behind the scenes. We are just trying not to get too far into it. What we try not to. Oh, this is a good question. Sorry, I'm late. Why does Joe always wear a mask? Is it a job requirement? No, he just loves Ninja Turtles. So what we're getting into is
fan, homie.
is it, what we don't want to see is, someone going after a CEO, doing this act, and then having positive ramifications. But that's exactly what we saw, where Blue Cross Blue Shield said yesterday, they go, hey, we're going to put a limit on the amount of anesthesia that we're going to cover. So if you go into a long surgery, oh, you need extra anesthesia. Sorry, bro, that's on you. Or you just have to stop your surgery halfway through, or you could just get jammed with this huge $20,000 bill because you need extra medication. This dude gets clapped in the street, and guess what? 24 hours later, Blue Cross Blue Shield was like, never mind. We don't want you guys coming after us, so we're going to change that policy. So it's like,
are they wrong though?
Right, exactly. And it's like, so was this an overall good action? And good. I think good and evil is a matter of perspective. So I think it's just however you paint a picture. But I don't think
it's hard, dude, because just like everything else, right? That's slippery slope. So, I mean, the same people that say that this was justified, I'll put it like that, justified, right, are the same people that wanted to see people succeed at assassinating Trump, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, where somebody may agree because, the CEO of United Healthcare was a piece of shit, or sorry, I shouldn't curse, piece of trash. I mean, it's a double-sided coin.
But I think there's different levels.
That's not the answer. You know what I mean? We can't allow that to be the answer. I understand. I understand where people are, why they're supporting it, but
Garen Wilson says he has kids. We may have just created two monsters.
But I mean, okay, and I'm with you, but that dude had an axe to grind. Whatever skills he was learning, he had been perfecting those skills for a long period of time.
Let's call him there.
Huh?
I'm not 100% though.
This person trained for a long period of time. They had an axe to grind. They etched words into the bullet casings and wanted those casings to be found.
Knew that they would be found.
And knew that maybe they just dropped those ones and knew that they would be found.
No, they knew they would be found. Yeah. I mean, the person, like you said, the person had training. I mean, they immediately tap racked, right? And it wasn't planned. It's not like they had gone out and shot that can and knew that the gun wasn't going to cycle.
Yeah.
You saw by their body posture, what I believe, in my opinion, that they were surprised when it didn't cycle. But what did they do? They didn't go into full sports. They didn't go into like all of the old school way of clearing a malfunction out of semi-auto, right? No, they went into stuff that's been taught maybe like to last 10 years, 10, 15 years,
And
been
it's the
taught and drilled and
Yeah.
like
And
that's what you do when you have snap cap training. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It is.
Croak says, you heard about the casings with writing on them. Yeah, it was like deny, depose, and something else.
Yeah, it kind of like it plays as a
Ds.
different book. It played play on words on another book where basically the guidebook for insurance companies to and law, I think, and Croak will correct me, how to delay, constantly delay and
delay, deny, depose.
something like that. Yeah, so it was like
Yeah.
ridiculous. So it's so and he said, yeah, we may have radicalized 2 young kids, but this individual obviously radicalized someone else, and it's like. Okay, and Joe, where you're coming at, I agree with you. Like, I just think there's some moral space between like, would I be the gunman? No, 100% no. But would I stand in the way of one?
Yeah, I can't say.
Probably no.
Honestly, dude, I can't say that I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Like we don't know that person's situation, right? What
The
if that
person that
person
knows
just lost their 2-year-old because of this?
Yeah.
Like if I was in that position, I probably would be the gunman. That's what I'm saying. I'm being extremely hypocritical, but for the better good of society, we can't go down that road.
So here's an interesting one. XL Tomahawk says, I think it's just to keep silencers under the NFA.
That was the whole reason. They were about to get rid of them. Now they're back on the menu, boys. Like those things are never going to be legal now.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a outcome of this. But
huge.
I don't think that was the reason for the assassination.
Because it probably would have gone off better if he didn't have the can, to be
honest. But let's be honest, it was like a 5% chance anyway, so I'm not really.
Yeah. But no, it's just, and I'm with you. I'm 100%.
And honestly, it just goes to show that it only affects law-abiding citizens.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't care.
I don't have a can. Why? Because I abide by the law. That person didn't care.
Garen Wilson says there was cowardice involved, shot in the back.
I'll argue. I'll agree in saying that, but also on the same coin, there was that guy who was shot in the back in like the airport in like the 80s or something, who had like victimized somebody's daughter, and he was
when the dude pulls out a gun and shoots him.
And he's kind of regarded as a hero, and everyone's kind of like, yeah, that's awesome. Like he's awesome. But it's the same. I would consider it mostly the same. I mean, yeah.
I mean, I agree with who said that?
Garen.
I agree with what you're saying. That didn't cowardice, right? But again, going back to it, if I just lost my 2-year-old, I mean, I'm not going to stand there face to face with somebody. I'm there to do a job, and whatever the most effective way of doing that job is what I'm going to choose. And shooting somebody in the back is more effective. They can't move. They don't know I'm coming.
Yeah. Ricochet says, to Tomahawk's idea, that's the same thing that happened a few years ago at some political assassin's failed attempt. Gary Plausch.
Yeah.
Same thing could be said about the Trump assassination, right? From 150 yards away, didn't know it was coming. That cowardice too. But the days of slapping somebody in the face with a glove would be like, I challenge you to a duel. Those days are over, unfortunately.
But making it honorable, I mean, does it change the outcome of the effect? Yeah, I don't think, you're right. Like Joe said, mission accomplished, right? That guy's mission was complete, and he did it. He did it in a way where people still haven't found him. So people are like, "Oh, he's not a professional hitman." Like, well, I mean, you haven't found him yet, so I mean, he's more professional than the ones you did find. But Joe, you make the most poignant point in it is it's such a slippery slope of like, if that behavior, like. Okay, so let's say the behavior was morally good, right? It gave a moral good for society, right? Where where society is checking itself and correcting itself, but there has to be some sort of check in place for the pendulum to not swing the other way and be like, oh, some guy, why did that guy get injured? Like, oh, he increased the price on eggs, so we took him out. Like, bro, what is going on? Like, you're go all the other way.
It's not always going to be against people that you. And I'm not saying you and Walsh, but you as in whoever agrees with. Like how many people, I think delusional, but how many people hate Trump so much, dude? Like,
Oh, dude.
they're losing their minds, bro. Like they are so. I can't even put it into words, right? Don't people think that it would be justified to assassinate Trump, right? I do not feel that way. So
Yeah.
they would say have all the same argument for the better good. They look at all the bad that he's going to do.
Totally. I completely agree with
Yeah.
you. And it's the same argument that in this situation, everyone would be like, yay. In that situation, it'd be like, no, but the
Right.
same action, right? Totally agree.
And flip it around. Like even the alt-right or whatever against Biden when he was running,
Same.
right? And got elected. Like I don't even want him to be president, but I still don't agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. Like he
And-
is the president. That's what the
Yeah.
country voted on. That's what we have to put up with, and we'll press.
It's just interesting because, you know, in college we had this conversation, and I talked to the family about this. There was a guy who, you know, it talked about the situation where there was a guy holding a Nazi flag, and somebody came up to him and just punched him right in the face and just decked him, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just stand out in public and someone just decked him, and they were like, hey, was that person in the right? And I was like the only person to be like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I think so, because society has to correct itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, you may not have any laws that say you can't do that, but that doesn't mean society is not going
has to put up with it.
Yeah, it doesn't mean society has to put up with
I
it.
disagree because I think the only person acting like a Nazi was the person stopping somebody from having the freedom of speech.
That's an interesting one too.
Like I said, you can stand in the road, like Ben Spears said. You can stand in the road and flail your arm in any direction that you want. I don't care. As long as it doesn't make contact with me. The dude holding a Nazi flag is not making contact with me. The dude over here holding whatever that they believe in, not making contact with me. That dude start marching and flailing a flag around and hits me with it. Now we got problems, bro. Then you deserve to get punched in the face. And by what I mean by hit me with a flag is
not an action. You're talking about like on purpose.
I'm talking about any action that affects me. Not
not
a
like
literal hit me with the flag, right? But your opinion, your whatever you're pressing, whatever you're doing, if that impacts me in any way, right? Then we have problems.
Yeah, I'm just saying my thought. What I'm saying is, to a degree, society will correct itself, right?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
If law won't act or someone finds a way, like in a situation where we've seen, if enough money can be added in to make law not act, people in society will just start doing stuff.
But should that happen?
Let's start this. But
Good question.
Let's start that instead of amongst ourselves, and this is where the sovereign citizen is going to come out.
Well, yes.
Instead of amongst ourselves doing that, right? How about we start that with all the atrocity from the government? How about there's somebody sitting in jail, I think in Florida, for printing a picture on a piece of metal and the ATF calling it a machine gun. Why are we not fixing that as a society? Why are we not down there? And there's so many people, 1 million people there, that they couldn't keep you out if they tried. So it's like, hey, you either release that person or we're going to tear open the fence and we're going to come in there and you're not going to have a prison anymore and everybody in that prison can be let free. Or you let that person out.
In that situation, there's an annoying answer, which if
nobody wants to go to jail.
Well, no one wants to go to jail, number one. But there's also an annoying answer is if you say that, you have to also agree that the system upon which put him there is
corrupt.
Isn't wholly correct, right? It's like, so you're saying our system is built in a way where we can put innocent people in jail? Like, yes, 100%.
And I think that's why I won't get too far into it because I'm going real political real quick. But the January 6th thing, I think that's why it was so important for them to go around and round everybody up to put the fear that if you ever did anything like that, that you were touchable. Nobody was untouchable from that, and that they're going to take it out on you. So when the mob type mentality ruled and took over for that little bit of time, they were going to show that there are consequences to it. By they, I mean the government.
Yeah. Hey, Croak's bringing up. He made a comment. I don't know this.
This one?
Yeah.
He said France tried that Bastille Day, ring a bell, and the chaos that happened after.
I'm not a history buff.
Yeah, either man. I don't know what Bastille Day is.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because I was talking to my daughter was
I
doing
remember
this.
Guy Fawkes tried that too. It didn't work out for him.
My daughter was I wonder if she emailed me. She wrote a paper on like kind of what we're talking about, how the government can be in the wrong sometimes. And one of the things that really stood out to me that I was talking to her about was my grandmother was 19 or 20 when the Japanese internment camps. And there was this family that lived next door to my grandmother. They were in their late 20s, early 30s, had young kids, and it was in the middle of the night. My grandmother told me about this, where she went to bed one night, like woke up the next morning, the family's gone. What happened? The government came in the middle of the night, like every family member, you get one bag each, took them to the camp, and their house was like seized by the government, sold. Their business, they had a grocery store in town, like that was taken over and sold. That land was sold. So when they finally were released from the camps and they went back to what they thought was going to be their home or their business, no, all that stuff was gone, taken by the government. And we're talking about people that were second generation Americans. Like their grandparents were born in Japan, but their parents and themselves were born here in America. And so my grandmother was telling me that story, and I told my daughter about it, how sometimes actions led by people in power can affect thousands or maybe even millions of people without even realizing that they're doing it.
Yeah.
Or maybe they do realize they're doing it.
I had such good faith because I equated everything to, that was a long time ago. Now we have all that technology and people can be self-educated, and we've changed our mindset. That went back when we hated each other like really bad, right? It still happened, but hated each other for skin color. We've progressed, we've evolved, and all the other stuff. And COVID showed me that all that was a lie. All that was a lie. Dude, people were chomping at the bit, foaming at the mouth to be able to tattletale on their neighbors, bro.
Mm-hmm.
To get them arrested, to see justice, their justice done. It had to have been 30 to 50% of people. Like if you walked into a grocery store and you walked down the wrong way down an aisle, people were so ready to see the law come in and beat you and tase you and drag you out in handcuffs. That's what they all wanted.
If I go somewhere and you don't put your grocery cart away, God help you.
The grocery cart test.
Good for you. That's just being a decent human being.
Yeah,
people were so just triggered to be able, and dude, it gave them like such gratification, like they were a hero because they turned in somebody for having Thanksgiving with their dying relative, right?
Yeah,
like it was ridiculous.
Zach Fett says the governor of Minnesota set up a snitch hotline.
I can see, like, I don't want to play devil's advocate here. I can see where the good idea poorly executed, right? Where it's like, hey, like maybe we shouldn't be getting together because there's a deadly virus. Like,
that's fine. But if those people next door decide to do it, who are you to say anything, right? They're standing in the middle of the street swinging their arms. They ain't making contact with you. Shut your mouth and go back inside.
But like their stick could hit you though. When I say that in the fact, like I guess the thought process is, and don't, I'm
gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
The thought process is, they get the virus and it spreads to someone, and then somehow along those lines.
No. Remember, if you got the vaccine, it stopped.
Yeah, if you got the vaccine, you were fine, and as long as you were 6 feet away, you were fine. So as long as they're in their backyard and you're vaccinated, shut your mouth. And the people calling the law, they were definitely vaccinated. They were the ones standing in line for the fifth one.
Yeah.
Don't forget there's no more vaccines now. Like, I mean, maybe there are COVID vaccines. I don't even know.
Yeah, dude, I don't think there are.
I had like 4.
There still are. It's like the flu. Like my kids, I got a message from my kid's school. Hey, do you want to opt in to get your kids vaccinated for COVID? Yearly COVID vaccinated. I'm like, nope.
It's cold now. It's just a cold.
So I want to read something, Joe. I think Joe would appreciate this. This is something my daughter wrote for her paper about these internment camps. She goes, in such camps, no walled homes are the size of one's average living room space for a whole family. Walls made of sheets. Humanity was stripped from them, all in the name of national security. In these actions, who was being secured? These Japanese citizens who have been loyal, hardworking American citizens were profiled because of fear and had their whole lives torn apart in this false justice.
Yep.
I mean,
and even if one of them would have done bad and cost American lives, it's still not worth what you took from the other people.
Yeah, even if there was 1,000 bad apples in a million, it still didn't justify the action, right? Even if it's like, well, hey, these people were being bad. Like, well, you can't punish them all.
Your favorite libertarian says, "Don't worry, guys. Big Pharma is super trustworthy."
Yeah. So I think it was a funny thing too with it. Someone was like, "Oh, I bet you their stock's going to go down after seeing this happen to their CEO." The stock went up like a ton.
Did it?
No, and maybe that's the thing that I think that's so crazy. No one cares. Like, yeah, okay, this guy had a family and this, that, and the other, but also he's just like a god awful human being. But
no, they justify it, right? Everybody using whatever mean to justify it. I'd be willing to bet people are like, "Well, how many people did that guy kill? Like he deserved it."
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
Like,
and that's just a justification. Which like,
let's say
I'm not here to judge.
Let's say he wasn't, it wasn't in this horrible incident. How many other people would have passed away due to his policies, right?
It's not just that, dude. How many people die? I think I looked it up. It was like 150,000 people die on average in the world every day, every 24 hours.
There's got to be more than that. I bet it's more than that.
Google it.
Ricochet845 says, Joe, our own government people had parties and stuff while we were forced to stay away from everyone.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. What I'm saying is I had faith in humanity that we wouldn't resort to, like, back where they were turning in Jews to concentration camp, right? I had faith in humanity that we had evolved past that, whether that's through being able to self-educate through the internet, through news, through all that stuff, having access to it, that wouldn't ever happen in today's day and age. And then COVID showed me that it absolutely would.
Hey,
that you can't trust anybody. You can't trust your neighbor. They'll narc you out faster than anything.
Let me reply to that Derek Murphy one.
Derek Murphy says, thinking it's okay to punch someone just for having a Nazi flag is the same thought as the left saying it's okay to attack or end someone for having a MAGA hat, flag, shirt, bumper sticker, etc.
And I'll agree that this is where it does become a slippery slope, right? You got to be super careful because when does something as simple as a red colored hat that's offensive, right? That's not right.
Well, it's not only that. Like, it's the same equalization that you're given because the left is saying that the MAGA hat is white supremacy.
Right.
It is Nazism.
And I could get it.
It's the exact same thing.
Right. And I think it just equates, and maybe just to me, maybe this is where the logic becomes more troubling, where, a Nazi to me stands for the genocide of an entire people. They actually tried to kill an entire group of people. Whereas like people with red hats, they're just, okay, they're a jerk to you online. They're, it's not.
Yeah. I'm not picking on you. I'm saying that the way that it has been pushed in the media is that if you wear a red hat, it's the exact same thing as if you had a Nazi flag.
It's true though, because you're right.
But you're in a way you're adding. Sorry, go ahead. I'm cutting you off.
I'm just saying there's an interesting layer that I don't think we can control where society corrects itself. But I'm totally with you. If you wear a red MAGA hat, you're probably going to have an interesting day. And not because I have any issue with it. You can do whatever you want. You can swing your arms wherever you want to do. But society does correct, right? And are those people right in doing that or wrong in doing that? I'm just saying, as those actions become more and more extreme, right? More and more evil, more and more negative. There's going to be a higher
so you're assigning your own morals and ethics to justify that person getting punched in the face, right?
Well,
but that's exactly what other people do for whatever reason, right? I could be eating a steak and somebody that an animal lover has assigned enough justification to come up and just shoot me in the side of the head, right? Because I'm eating a steak.
You're right.
And that's where we get with it, right? And that's why it can't be accepted. And I understand what you're saying, because I do believe, like, the public school taught us, right? Like, if you're not doing something right, you're going to be made fun of. You're going to be hazed. You're going to be harassed. Like, the military does it too, right? Like, that person that couldn't get their crap together in basic military training, so you all got smoked, they got a sock party at night. And then guess what? The next day, they were actually on time. Oh, imagine that, right?
Or washed out.
I understand that. But that's also going to against what, I guess, I don't want to assign a left or a right, but that's another word for that, bullying, right?
Yeah.
And everybody's so anti-bullying that they don't want to see that in school anymore. They don't want to see that in society anymore, right? That we have to be understanding and accepting to everybody. So they're trying to get what you're saying washed out of society.
There's a couple comments I want to get to that I like. So first, Ricochet says, all it takes is a couple of clicks of your thumbs. People still choose to remain ignorant and stupid. No one looks into things when the info is right in front of them on the same phone screen they use to scream at everyone else because they think they're right and everyone else is wrong.
Not only that, I'll add a layer to that. And this is the piece I learned as a first sergeant. And Garrick Murphy, I see your comment down there. I still love you. The thing I learned, there is actually a self-esteem problem. And the problem here comes into where you have to have a certain level of self-esteem and a certain level of pride in yourself and to be able to say you're wrong. Right. Yeah. And I think that's something we're good about in our group. We do battle. But I think the guys know, like, I'll come in and be like, dude, I looked into that. I was totally wrong. Like, I looked at that. You guys were right. My position was wrong. Or Jason and I have been talking and I'll hear him and be like, yeah, dude, I think I have to rethink the entire way I look at that because you brought up a new perspective that changes the way I think about it. And I need to
be fair. That's rare. He rarely admits he's wrong.
It's rare.
He's gonna have one of those moments tonight if we get to it.
Oh God. Oh boy. Yeah. But I want you guys to think that maybe my aha moment was every single person who was in jail. They polled like 1,000 of these guys that were in jail. Every single one of them thought they were not guilty. Right. And then they polled like another 1,000 and every single one, 100% thought they were not guilty. And these guys weren't like going to court thinking that they're going to get something if they say that. They all just believed they were of no responsibility to what happened. Right. So like that to me, I think was my aha moment of like, no, I'm responsible for everything that happens. So I need to look at things with a more crucial eye and take ownership of it all and be like, okay, how could I have done better? What could I have done differently? What am I doing wrong in this perspective that makes it make more sense to me? And then someone explains it like, oh, okay, I'm going to trash that way of thinking and start over, even if you end up in the same spot. So that's a spot. Even if they get new information, who was that put that out there? Did Ricochet say that? I don't know who was it.
I think it was Ricochet. Yeah, Ricochet.
Yeah, great statement. But it's the follow-up of like, what did you do with the information that proved you were wrong? You trashed it. That's going to be the answer to 1,000 people out of 1,001. They took that information and threw it away because the ramification of them being wrong isn't something they can deal with mentally. So like, there's no changing sides. They can't mentally be wrong because they don't have that capacity. So
Garrett Wilson says, I'm not into the thought police. Subjective morality, no thanks. Josh is good. Says, make bullying great again. Joe, 2028.
Hold on.
It does serve a purpose.
Where's our shirts? Yeah. Where's our shirt list?
I can't remember what it was. My wife said something the other day that I think 10 years ago, if she would have heard me say it, she would have been like, that's borderline racist. But this time she was like, no, Jason, you taught me that profiling is a tool. I'm like, that's right. It is a tool.
And also, then you got to get it, but also just a little bit racist.
036 Liberty says, the problem is people equating politics with persona or conflating. If your identity is defined by a political party, there is a problem. Walsh said something. It's actually on the video coming up this Sunday where he said something similar to that. Like if you identify yourself by the brand of product that you purchase, you're going to be very angry with us on Sunday.
It's a good video. Jason was like, I had to let Jason watch it and be like, is this okay?
Something's up with your mic. It's like super
Mine?
staticky or something. Joe.
Mine?
Oh,
Yeah. It's like robotic.
Hold on. Is it better?
So
yeah, fixed it.
Say it again.
Is it better?
Oh no,
no, it's not.
You pooped on it.
It's like worse. So it's kind of funny because Walsh had me watch his video. Whoa, sounds like static electricity.
You fix it. Say something.
Maybe.
No,
Maybe.
You pooped it. I mean,
it's not me, dude. Do you know what it is?
EV Mux.
We never had a problem with StreamYard.
So Walsh asked me to watch the video, and as I'm watching, it's like 25 minutes. As I'm watching, I'm like, pretty regularly, like, oh, I don't think he should post this. And then like 2-3 minutes later, like, no, yeah, he should. And then another 3 minutes, I'm like, ooh, I don't know. I don't think he should post it. No, yeah, he should. He should post this. So
I definitely had it's a Joe moment of like me be like just taking a bridge and just being like, hey, Jason. Like, bro, did you ever want to use that bridge again? Like, I don't think so. I think I'm good. But no,
is my mic fixed?
Yeah, it's fixed.
Yeah, that sounds better.
It's better. I will say though, I did do my best. You guys can pick on me on Sunday. I did do my best to look at this product and say what I thought about it. You know, it was my experiences. It did all the tests, and I bought it. I was very disappointed, and I wasn't the only one that was disappointed. There was multiple people who bought it with me, and they're also disappointed. So,
if I would have bought it, I would have been very disappointed.
I
guarantee you, Joe would have not bought it.
Oh no,
too expensive. No. Croak says, I like to think I'd admit to being wrong about something, but it hasn't happened yet, so it's just a thought.
Hey, if you ever want to actually be serious and test that, tell somebody that you're in a road rage with that you were wrong.
Ooh. Just to prove a point, right?
Do it whether you were or not.
Just say you
roll it beside him and just be like, do you know what? My bad. Sorry. Have a good day.
My latest thing is one-upping conspiracy theorists. I was telling my kids this.
Are you telling me?
So it was like, dude, I think the moon landing was faked. And I was like, oh, you're one of those weirdos that believes in the moon?
Yeah. I don't even think the sky is real. Like,
it's all a simulation, man.
Simulation.
Yeah, they're gonna be sitting at their house, like getting like in the shower, like, wait, what did he say?
When a flat earther walks away and calls you crazy, like, you know you've done something right.
Yeah, we gotta go.
That dude's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, on a different note, I want to bring something up. Or moving away from assassinations. Hey, have you seen the? Man, I don't want to assign sides, but it isn't the left. I think they're on CNN, but they're on a panel. Dude, there are a lot of people losing their mind that they think like Trump is going to release the military.
Oh yeah, that was CNN.
Populace.
Martial law thing. Yeah,
Scott Jennings tried to set him straight.
Someone's out.
Okay.
South Korea. Yeah.
So everybody saw that, right?
I didn't see it, but this is a general consensus. Yes.
How crazy is it that now they're on our side, bro? They just don't know it yet. Like, okay, so now you're afraid that Trump is going to release the military on civilian population. So what do you do about it? Oh, wait, you've let them take all your guns. Oh. This is why we need guns for a tyrannical government. If you would have had guns, you could have solved that problem.
Great.
We can recommend some training and some weaponry.
Right. But you made that illegal too. Oh man, this is like the neighbor that didn't want their neighbor to have a pool, right? And it's so unsafe, and you got to get rid of the pool, and they finally get rid of the pool, and then the whole place around them is on fire, and the only thing that can save them is the pool that no longer exists.
Hey, 12 Bravo's showing up late. What's up, dude?
Way late.
What's up, Vinny?
Josh says, my non-attorney agrees with the statement. Ricochet for fire. I love this. He says, conspiracy theorists are really just teaser droppers. Seems every time one of them theories comes up a few decades later, the government admits the theory was legit and the government lied.
I'll agree on the one that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like
sometimes.
Bohemian
A
Grove.
flat Earth, I don't agree
No,
with.
those people are
Like,
crazy.
look up Bohemian Grove when you get a chance.
Is that the one with the light where there's like, you're like, that's the best one. The flat Earth one where you're like, all right, if we look through here,
Oh no.
if we look
No,
through
it's
here,
not that. That is a good one.
if it's a flat light, if it's flat, we'll be able to see the light. Like if we look up, we'll be able to see. Like I don't see anything. Like he looks up and like, that's interesting.
And then cut the credits.
Yeah.
Croak says flat earthers are so nuts. Everybody knows we're living on the back of a giant turtle.
It's just turtles all the way down.
All the way. Derek Murphy says,
It's a
Joe,
simulation.
you just blew my mind explaining how they are on our side now. It would melt the minds of those who oppose our thoughts of government.
I know, dude. Could you imagine if we sat
Wait,
down with
wait.
them right now and be like,
Which
"Thank
side?
you, finally, welcome." Like
Like-
this would be apologizing to the guy during a road rage, isn't it? Right? Like
Yeah.
they're sitting across from you, and you just open up your arm and give them a hug. Be like, "Finally, welcome,
It's
welcome, brothers and sisters."
It's like it's a bunch of guys coming in and they're just like, I think I'm 2A now. Like I'm trying to fight the government. Like, oh, hi, welcome.
Be like, hold on, let me go get you a hat. And
Yeah.
it wouldn't be a magnet hat; it'd be a Gadsden flag hat. Be like, this. Do you know what this means? This means that you don't like tyrannical governments.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Become best friends.
Yeah, like, can I hang out with you guys? Like, what do you guys believe in? It doesn't matter, man. Do you like guns? Like, yeah.
You
Have you seen
want
the
to go do
video
some
of
slap
the-
rack drills in the garage? Because I've heard that they're useful.
Have you seen the videos of Californians that move to Texas and they get like invited to like the neighborhood barbecue?
No.
Oh, dude, I think it was Babylon Bee, that parody newspaper. They have a series of videos of like Californians moving to Texas. So it's all fictional, but they're vegans and they show up and the wife catches the husband eating Texas barbecue. I can't believe he's like, it's so good.
No.
Zach
funny.
Fett. So I gotta go back. Josh says birds aren't real, and Zach Fett says nobody has ever seen a baby pigeon. That's true.
That's where you start getting really, really far out there. Like the flat earthers are like, dude, that guy doesn't believe in birds. Like not a one.
Yeah.
I don't believe any of them are real. Like they just walk away.
It's Croak. So it's 4 videos on YouTube. Croak reminded me. Then the wife becomes a gun nut, and her husband.
Oh, really?
Like, I can't. What are these doing in our house? It's a great series. It's
That's
four
funny.
skits.
Okay. You want to go down the dark tunnel that might have Walsh saying, "Yeah, I didn't think about that. I'm completely wrong."
Is it Second Amendment related?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, let's do it. We're in Second Amendment news, buddy.
Yeah, we're in.
Okay. Oh, well, it's gun related. Sorry.
Yeah, that's good enough.
You said Second Amendment.
Yeah, that's good enough.
Me.
So I got to mess with a training simulator that's firearm related that you specifically requested me to mess with.
I did because it sucks.
Yeah, it's actually really good.
No.
Okay, so you tell me why it sucks, and I'll tell you why it's good.
Dude, that is a cell phone. That is a $5.
The Ace VR thing.
I'm gonna make everybody mad, and y'all are gonna have to deal with it. That is a $5 cell phone game that is sold as a real product that is actually attached to a real system. We're talking about the Ace VR. And I
don't even know what it's called. I don't even know what it's called.
That is a $200 gun that goes on a $800 VR headset that costs $200 a year.
Yep.
And so you don't even get to own the game, and they give you updates every whatever. It doesn't matter. The technology behind making that game is high school level. That is a high school made game.
Hold on. Ricochet says, go down the tunnel. And 076 says, is that tunnel a rabbit hole?
No. I do have to concede. Yes, it is. I will concede this. I have not played it. So
gosh.
So I'm coming from a place. No, hold on. Now, I haven't played it, but I own an epic crapload of very, very fun, very, very cool, very exciting VR games. So to say to me like, oh, you don't know what it's like. Yes, I have shot a gun without recoil. I understand what this does. This is not that exciting for a training drill. I can shut my eyes and pretend like I'm playing, and I'm going to get the exact same.
Already, Walsh is wrong because Joe and Croak are in agreement. Because
No.
Croak commented,
and I will say though, the fact that Joe played it does give me some concern. Now, okay, here's
Dude on the moon.
How you know that
Dude on
this
the moon
probably
is here. He says stuff like that. Hell, even Mantis reminds me of meta chasers in video games. Dude, we were just taught. You missed it about the conspiracy theory that the moon doesn't exist.
Sorry, Joe.
Therefore, he doesn't exist.
Because I have a question for you at the end. I want to hear about that. I do
Yeah.
want to hear your experience.
So another indicator that you guys should be picking up on, and I didn't interrupt Walsh at all during that. I let him throw his noose around the gallows and hang himself very quietly. So
this is good.
From your perspective on everything that you just said, because you called it a video game the entire time, I 100% agree with you. I would not spend $1,000 on a video game and get that quality and have to continuously pay for that video game throughout the year. However, if you change your perspective on that is a way to train, right, to do drills and to do dry fire training, then it might change your mind. So if you already have the goggles, right? You already have the goggles. Okay. What does it cost you to get into it? It costs you what, $20 a month, right? For subscriptions?
I think the gun's like $200 too.
So so $200 and $20 a month, which I don't know, but from what I've heard, if they're continuously coming out with new game and updates almost every month.
But I don't know if that
I want to buy this just so I can say that Walsh is wrong as well.
Right. But okay. So we'll say they come out with a new game every 3 months, right? So you're still in PlayStation or Xbox territory. And that's if you're still looking at it as a game. Yes, you have to pay $20 a month, but you have access. It's not like you're paying $20 a month for the same game. You're paying $20 a month for the updated version, right?
Oh, here you go.
But from a perspective, like I put on the goggle, I didn't even want to do it. The gun actually felt really good and for weighted, and far as when I'm looking through the goggle, when I press out, right? Because I have a tendency to I'm always tilted up. So I'm looking over the rear sights and see the front sight. I pressed out with this gun, which just like my Prodigy, right? He has the one that I messed with was the
Staccato.
Yeah, the Staccato. I pressed out, and on the game, dude, I did exactly what I do in real life. And I'm like, that's interesting. So I changed my posture a little bit and then pressed out like I do with a real gun, and I acquired the red dot. It was ridiculous. From a dry fire perspective, okay, $20 a month is not crap. Not even a box of ammo, right? So if you're standing in your basement doing 300 draws from the holster and pressing and firing from the hip or pieing corner or doing anything else fundamentally that you want to practice before you go to the range, $20 a month is cheap as hell. And honestly, as far as a dry fire system, I've only used 2 now, right? Well, technically 3, I guess. Airsoft, the Mantis, and now this one. I 100% enjoyed to play it, right? To actually do it, and got more out of that one than I did the other 2 put together. And on top of that, one more thing. Okay. They're talking about doing what is it? Something reality, like where you
virtual reality.
Augmented reality, right? So now all that stuff that you did with the Mantis that I agree with you on, right? Where you put cardboard targets on your stairs and you pied your own stair corners and you're using your Mantis and it's resetting your trigger and all that. Now you can do that only with moving bad guys like on those stairs. How is that not worth $200?
I want to buy this now. This sounds awesome.
Dude, I actually enjoyed it.
In the heart of today's video, being the exercise of proving the point, I'm going to say, you know what, Joe? I probably am wrong. You are probably right in this. I am the wrong individual, and I should learn and grow more. And
my
I
God.
will say
I
that
sense so much sarcasm.
no.
I know.
I'm practicing it.
He is being
Dripping.
being serious right now.
Yeah,
I
it's
will say
dripping.
like the number one thing that really boils my balls about Ace VR is the monthly model, and I say that because I have to pay for things that are monthly subscriptions, right? So like these are things other people don't deal with. I pay for stupid Adobe that's $60, $70 a month. Like all this software and all these things that used to be a um a normal cost, right? It costs a certain number of dollars, and now you have to pay monthly for it. And if you stop paying, you don't get to use it at all. You don't own anything. You don't get last year's version. So
Mhm.
it really agitates me that somebody
Mhm.
wants to use a monthly MMO model for something that has, I don't know, a week's worth of development time put into it. So if it was something way more bigger, way more of a production, I would be like, dude, that's kind of a crazy
Yeah.
deal. Especially when I play
I
games
understand. I understand that you don't like that,
like,
right? That you
it blinds
hate that
it blinds
aspect.
me. It blinds me. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
would say you're looking at it from the wrong perspective.
I agree.
Like I said,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think from your perspective, you're 100% right. And if you change the perspective, because there are so many people in here, even people in here, that I'm even guilty of it, that pay a subscription fee to a range and never even go, dude.
Well, if that game,
You have to pay for range, right?
I would not say
So
if that game
so
cost
in
$40, if it cost $40 and had like a season and you could buy the season if you wanted to, but it
Mhm.
costs $40 and you own the game, dude, there would be no peep out of me. None.
So from what I'm reading in their fact right now, that if you cancel your subscription, you still have access to, let me see, let me go back to it. A basic range with various targets to be used for dry fire.
I don't know what that means, but
You could still like,
yeah.
you don't lose complete access to it, to everything. You would have, you could put the headset.
Dude,
You
they
don't pay
even have a
membership fee,
timer.
you can
They
put it
even have
on
a
and you can
timer,
still have that.
and you can set up targets however you want. So you could actually set up like your course of fire for whatever competition that you're going to be going through.
So
You can actually set that up and then do like the beep and then draw from a holster and pew, 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 pew. And then it shows you everything. It gives you all your data.
So Croak's saying, Walsh, the monthly model pays for a team to go to IDPA and USPA events and map out the courses, add new stages, and if you don't pay, you still have the basic game, which has a lot of content.
Yeah, but I just want to make sure people know that money's not going to making the game look better because it looks like crap.
076.
If
Walsh,
it's a
you don't
game,
own
yes,
anything
I
anyway.
agree.
You pay rent on your own property. How can you own anything if you don't have anywhere to put it that you own outright?
Sorry,
I went sovereign.
No, and so my only qualm back to you is like, how much is the whole thing? Like, how much is it?
$600 for everything.
So
MetaQuest, the gun, and a year membership. $600.
It's 600.
Oh, so that's all it is for the whole setup.
So the headset, the Staccato P handset, and a year membership is $600.
Okay,
or you could do a Sig 365 gun.
That's not that, but
dude, that's 1,000 rounds of 5.56, bro.
So it's still. I still would. I don't think I would. I've done enough VR. Like I own.
But you're looking at it at a video game, not a video game, at a training aid, and it's a dry fire aid.
I would just.
If you look at it from a dry fire aid, but no, it has way more than dry firing.
I don't know. They went from math. Yeah, they went from math, not graphics. Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
Ricochet.
Dude, I didn't think the graphics were terrible, but again, I went just at a range, like it just looked like a range. There's targets moving everywhere,
and they do discount for law enforcement or veterans.
So so this is where my butt pain with it comes from. Is there's a game that I enjoy very, very much called After the Fall, right? Where After the Fall is a game where you have to it's a co-op game. It's a game, right? So it's not a training game, but you still have to aim with your pistols. You have to reload. You have to do everything, right? So you have to do everything you can think of. If you reload your gun and do everything, you get double damage, right? And you have zombies coming at you. You have actual realistic thing happens. You have buddies working with you. all kinds of catastrophes going on. The graphics are just phenomenal, and that game costs you like $25 one time, right? And we play it forever
for a game.
Yeah, and it costs
Cool. How much would it be if it was a training aid for dry firing?
and that's what I'm saying is there's nothing different from that.
There is. There's all the different guns.
Joe.
No, you could use different guns. You can use
Joe,
different guns
here
in
you
the
go.
game.
So one of the frequently asked questions, are you a gun manufacturer or do you sell guns or gun accessories? Ace says, no, we are a gaming company.
Oh,
that provides an application and associated handset tailored to work with MetaQuest 2 or 3.
Send the live. Like, it's not a game. Well, they said it.
What?
No, but
dude, that's 100% what I would say. Why would you admit to doing any of that?
I do agree with you.
Mestis doesn't sell firearms either.
I just
don't think. And what I will say, if that staccato that you buy or whatever it is, right? I don't know anything about this, but it looked like a gun frame with the controller that come with the VR thing, right?
Yeah.
The controller wasn't anything special. Is that accurate, Walsh? So you could use that staccato in all of your different games for your VR, right?
I don't know enough about it. I don't know. Sometimes you can.
I'm 99% sure because the normal controller for the headset for the controller.
They're coming out of the woodworks right now. Bailey Luke says, I shoot over 2,000 rounds in Ace a day.
I want to do this. I want to do the not Ace versus Ace challenge.
You should.
And where I don't use Ace and we go shoot a competition and they do use Ace and we see who wins.
That's dumb.
And they'll be like, but I paid $400 a month.
Like, that's okay. So that's like somebody telling you that doing dry fire drill, doing reload drill in your backyard is stupid. Because you had to buy a gun and you had to buy a magazine, and that's like $1,000 in a holster. That's dumb.
I get where you're going.
Like, and then you're like, well, let's go do reload drill and see who's better. Like, that person could just be God's gift, right? Like, have Jerry Rice hands and like you whoops your ass. Like, oh well,
I did concede.
I guess that didn't work out.
I did concede.
Now, for a video game, I don't think it's okay. For a video game, I don't think it's worth it. And personally, I don't think that I would buy it just for this, right? But if you were already, you had the thing, the VR setup, right? You're already super into that stuff.
Yeah.
$200 for the staccato controller that you can use throughout all of your games. Like, we pay for that for controller anyway, right? So what are you out? $20 to try it for 1 month. That's what you'd be out, Walsh.
Cajun says he needs to get on the chat. So Cajun, we got like 10 minutes left. If you want to hop on, I will send you the link. You come on and you could battle Walsh.
No. I already conceded that I'm wrong. I already said I'm wrong. My butt pain is
I will send you the link.
Like the monthly fee, I'm never gonna get over that. If that's how you're gonna fund your game,
I get it.
I'm out.
Because that's how I am with video games, so I 100% where you're coming from. Like, I'm so tired of video games doing that crap.
But what if
says you don't have to pay?
Yeah, you get garbage.
Yeah, like you're just gonna get a field.
Like what if you play like your favorite? Like we played our new, what's our favorite game, Joe? What's that one we used to always
Warhammer.
Play? Warhammer, yeah, whatever. Let's say Warhammer. Warhammer is $8 a month instead of $60.
Right. Dude, we went through this. We went through that, but you did. You paid it. It. We went through this with Destiny.
Oh, Destiny. Well, no, that's more. We didn't do monthly.
Dude,
right, I just sent Cajun the link.
When that downloadable content came out, right?
That's season stuff.
And then you couldn't do the chalice challenge at the end anymore without it. I was out, right? I was like, no way.
Garen says, what's next? Ocean Gate VR. If you guys don't know, Ocean Gate was that submarine that imploded trying to go to.
They probably have that. And so,
no, you do not get garbage. You just don't get all the fancy competition stages.
Oh, maybe it's. I just don't have. Like, why is?
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this. Yeah, I play. Okay, full disclosure. I went to Sean's from We Like Shooting, and he had it. And Walsh and him had already talked about it, right? So you're like, hey, Walsh said that you have to try this. Come try it. So he put a cop car there, right?
Yeah.
he laid out the room and he set it all up. I didn't set anything up. So maybe it's a pain to set up. I don't know. But he set it all up, right? So I'm walking around that room with that thing on, like almost walking in a wall and the red like fencing coming up in the VR thing. And there's a cop car here. And I can kneel. I can shoot through the glass. I can do all this stuff with a cop car that you can't do at a range unless you put a real car there and unless you're willing to shoot it. I don't have a range nor the money for the car that will let me do that.
That's true.
So
That's a good
then
point.
I was like, do you know what? I was like, hey, can you shoot from under the car? And Sean like, I've never tried. I'm like, oh, well, that's like the first place that you shoot from when you're using a car. So I laid down by the front axle, right? You have the engine block and the axle cover, and I rolled out from the tire and looked underneath the car and engaged a moving target going across the field.
So I don't know if you can see Joe. Cajun's in our chat now.
Yeah, I see him.
He's trying to figure it out. And listen, I told you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. My butt pain is the month. I'm just not. I can't get over it. It can be.
I understand.
I can't.
I get it.
And maybe, and I'll be honest with you, if it was on Steam, let's say if it was on Steam, which they don't allow those stupid garbage anyway, so they'll never be on Steam, or if it was on PlayStation Network, which they also don't allow that stupid garbage, so it won't ever be on PlayStation Network. It will never go mainstream because their pricing model sucks.
So it's a modern day duck hunt.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
I agree, but if you look at it, one more thing, and then I'll shut up. If you look at it instead of it's a monthly subscription as I am saving hundreds of dollars in ammo, that's what changed my opinion. And that's why I think it's worth it. Because I shot out of that staccato, I had to have shot like 900 rounds. And if I did that in real life, that would have been 25 cents a round.
But you taught me the range is to validate training. So I'm only going to go shoot, 5%, 10% of the time, and the rest of the time is so like.
So that's what I'm saying. Instead of shooting 1,000 rounds at the range, you could shoot 900 here and then go to the range and shoot 100, and it just paid for itself. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Cajun.
We'll let you argue.
So yes, Joe's absolutely right. You do save tons and tons of money on ammo. What you don't get with any other VR game, which you do get the controller, and the reason why it's so expensive is because they figured out a way to have this controller be one-to-one with your actual gun and the optic on it. So you coming out of the holster and you aiming down sight, it's the exact same presentation as your actual real gun. So you save a whole bunch of money on all your draw practice, all your movement practice, all your stage planning inside of game, all of your drills. That way when you do go to the range, the thing that you're mostly worried about will now be recoil control.
I'll give you that. I can see that. And I will say when I start doing competitions and I own one of these setups, I'm going to be like, see, guys, I'm totally with you now. This thing's awesome. That's why I'm conceding now. So that laterism of like
this will be another Walsh moment where I'm like, 6 months later, I'm like, now it's cool.
I already conceded it. I just hate the pricing model. I would just always.
I know.
So they make
I get it.
I know.
that you can buy.
My controller works in a normal 320 holster. Okay. It's actually working my 226 holster.
Okay.
So you can draw.
And they're not expensive. They're not crazy. They're $50.
And what is it? Black Rhino Concealment makes them, I think.
Oh, okay.
And they make them to where the one that Sean had the T on it that you could put Safariland QLS system on it.
Yep.
So my Black Scorpion gear holsters work. I find that anything that is cut low enough to where you can see the ejection port for like fast clearing the holster will work with these VR holsters.
And see, Cajun, I agree with you. And I think that where I'm going to be far more motivated to agree with you and Joe is when I get more into the competition space, like where you and I were talking already on Discord a bunch about, what drills to do and what things to do. And I think when it's one of those, hey, Walsh, you need to go practice this stage. You're going to see it on Sunday. Go drill it 1 billion times.
Oh, I love that idea.
That's way more where I'm going to be like, okay, dude, that is worth the money because I can't do that.
And that's what Croak was saying, that the reason why they have this, well, I mean, a couple things. You're Croak talks about this. Like, this is a niche market, so they can't sell it for one price because they're going to be selling so few. But that the money's going to people going to these different competitions to be able to film and map out the courses. I love this. Ricochet says, "I'm going to buy a setup and send it to Walsh just to make him do it, so he can't bitch about the price."
Except the subscription price.
The same reason that we don't want paid for Jason Netflix.
Yeah.
I can probably help a bit with this. So I do have a discount code. It works on everything, including the monthly subscription.
Oh my Lord! All right,
Dang.
So if
we're gonna have to do it. I'll eat all the way. And also,
I'm gonna say one more. I'm gonna bring up one more thing. You brought up competition, right? So I'm gonna play the devil advocate.
Yeah,
There's
we do have
way
to
more
wrap
to
it up
that
here.
than just competition. So if you live where you can't go to the range all the time, right? Or you live in one of the places where the range is very strict. You can't draw from a holster. You can't go prone. You can't rapid fire.
Yeah.
You can't do all the things, right? Then I would say that there is a tactical aspect to them too, right? How many people have drawn from their holster while kneeling?
Ricochet. Hold on. Ricochet says
100% is a different. It's a different location. If it's a different draw pattern, it had different everything. And if you don't live by a range where you can draw from a holster while kneeling, or a thigh rig, or a back holster, or whatever it is, there's obviously there are benefits to it. It's just does the cost justify?
And there's multiplayer.
See, you see how adult I'm being today? I am conceding that I am wrong, and I'm going to eat crow. And also because I'm going to be coming to Cajun, I'm like, hey, how do I need to train? He's going to go like, hey, you need one of these. I'm like, God dang it. Like, I know.
Walsh is going to be so pissed when I get into this and I start going and getting like times, right? And then Walsh has to beat my time.
Oh, no, it's great. You get into multiplayer, and whenever someone does the drill, all the split times pop up on the target as you hit after each stage, and then you can rip into each other right on the other side of you.
It brings up a good point, and Cajun, you mentioned it too, that the number one thing you don't learn is recoil control. Where we kind of started the channel with this, where I began learning a pistol, and I did everything except for recoil control, and I really got to the 90% and the 95%. So you can get most of the way.
Yeah. And there are some bad habits with this. I'm going to play devil advocate.
There is.
All you have to do is push the button and you tap the bottom, and that's a reload, right? So immediately, dude, I'm playing this zombie one where it gets faster and faster, like these zombie hunting tracks. And like I'm shooting, it's at ammo, right? And there's a zombie right there. I just do this.
Yeah.
This is how I'm reloading. Yeah. And I'm doing reloads like boom, 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 reload. I don't see anybody else. I'm doing a reload right now.
I do.
There are some scars that you can work into.
I wish it was the same. Like if it had the same weapon manipulation, and I'm paying $20 a month, and it's the same weapon manipulation and the same everything, the same manual arms of my actual gun, dude, I would be the biggest idiot to say, hey, that's not awesome. But when it's like, it's a plastic VR controller. You can 3D print it, and it just like
it is weighted to the your actual gun, and they try and get the triggers really close.
Yeah,
they are working on two things. One is a remote button that you can put in like a mag pouch that will force you to go and touch the mag pouch before reloading.
That's cool.
Two is a way to operate your slide.
All right. Well, hey, I'm going to say this. I was an adult today. I admitted I was wrong. Now, each of you have to go into your day and randomly say you're wrong about something just to
man.
There you go. Okay, we got to wrap this up so I can go tell my wife I was wrong about something.
Right.
Cajun, thanks for
Doris is going to love you.
I love having you on here.
All right. Thanks for letting me on, guys.
Thanks for hopping on, bud.
Later.
All right. So let's go around the room real quick as we wrap this up. Anything we want to talk about that's coming up?
Sunday, I have the video. You guys wanted to see the Shaw belt. Me, Jawa, and a few others purchased that, and we.
Oh, Jawa got one too.
Yeah, Jawa got one too, and we were all pretty unhappy with it. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I mentioned it in the video. Mine's just sat on the shelf. Like I put it together, and it just sat on a hook on the wall for like the past, I don't know, month. And then you guys asked to see it, and I was like, all right. And there's I just didn't. Yeah. So you guys want to see it? If you get butthurt about me being not liking things, don't watch that video. Just skip it. It's a good one. Jason had to give it a thumbs up. He had to give like a final, like, yeah, man, I think you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I normally don't watch belt video, but I'm gonna watch this one.
Oh, it's a good one.
Oh, Croak says I got one too. It sucks.
Yeah. I wouldn't be doing the channel justice if saying I was like, oh, it's great. Like, and it's just, yeah.
I blew my extra money on a mini RC car.
Oh yeah, dude. On
Another one.
Not shows creeping up fast.
We'll be there.
I know. I just bought my airline. I think.
Oh, I need to do that tomorrow.
Walsh is getting his airline and hotel, but he's going to be able to land earlier than so. What we do TLD wise, the first day we meet up and we'll do a dinner. I don't know. Walsh is gonna have to wait later because I don't land till like 7 at night. So we're gonna have a late dinner.
Stupid.
Yeah.
You should have dinner the next night. I wouldn't put up with that crap, Walsh.
We do have dinner next night. Yeah, we have dinner every night with someone cool. So,
Josh, please solidify my purchases, Walsh.
Yeah, where are my eyes? Can you see my eyes? That is a bad belt choice.
All right, that's it from us, dudes. Let me transition. There we go. Sorry, I left Cajun screen up there. So that's it from us. We appreciate you guys being here. Thanks, Cajun, again for hopping on and talking more about HVR, and for Walsh eating some crows. It's good to hear every once in a while. Keep him humble.
I can fit through the doorway now.
So another thing, we're gonna have a special guest next week. So Dan from Dynamic Principles will be on our live chat next week. So I already have some questions planned for him. So come with questions for Dan from Dynamic Principles. We will see him next week. But that's it for us, guys. We appreciate you being here, and we will catch you next Thursday.
Deck time.
Adios.
He'll bring pictures of his deck. I'll tell him.